This video is going to change how you're viewing Bitcoin. Whether you think Bitcoin is going to be dropping lower, is going to keep going up, whatever, I am going to show you something that will flip everything on its side. And I literally mean that, because what I want to do actually is punch in the Bitcoin inverse charts for what we're typically taking a look at and just show you guys what this chart looks like if we actually flip Bitcoin's image and literally just put a mirror to everything. So here we go. This is Bitcoin if we invert everything. Now, to give you a bearing of what's going on, this down here was when Bitcoin hit $69,000. This over here was when Bitcoin had its flash crash in March of 2020. It fell down to 3,600. There's literally a mirror that's flipped Bitcoin's image. And the reason that this is so important and the reason this is so effective is that it actually gives us a much more unbiased look at what's going on, where we can push the fear to the side and we can start analyzing this thing with some healthier, more sober eyes. So this video is going to change how you see it. If you're excited for the kind of things I'm going to be talking about in this video, including how low Bitcoin could possibly go and also the prospects of a reversal, do me a favor and smash up the likes on this YouTube video. I also want to remind you guys very, very quickly before we get into this, the final thing is that BitGet is the exchange that I told you guys I've started to use as of last month. They're offering you guys $8,000 in bonuses just to sign up and check out the platform. So that is a lot of money. That's $8,000 per person, depending on the requirements you meet. You can get as cash bonus. I'm sorry, just bonuses. I don't know if they're cash specific or not, but they are linked down below, so go ahead and check that out. That offer is not going to be running forever, but let's get straight into the analysis, guys. I don't want to waste too much time right here because this is really, really important. And actually, the first thing that I want to do is I don't want to look at that previous chart I was using because I've actually already drawn some things on it, but instead I'm going to be taking this one. And the first thing that I want to do is actually just flip the chart to logarithmic. That's with the button on the bottom right. If you look down here, I just want to flip the chart to logarithmic so that we can get a slightly better view of what's going on. And by the way, if you're wondering where I am, I don't know. I honestly don't know where I am. I'm somewhere in the desert, but I am loving it. And the first thing that I want to do after doing that is just start kind of mapping out where some of these resistance zones on the chart are, and I think this is pretty damn easy to do. There's one key area of resistance right here. We're actually at an area of resistance right here as well. Big reversals coming off this level back at the end of 2017, where the price saw a huge area, a huge bounce right here, a big area of support. It doesn't have many areas of support. Well, didn't have any areas of support. Actually, we hit this for the first time, so that was when we hit the all-time high. And then we look up at where some of these other areas of resistance are. Well, actually, we can just plot this using the VPVR indicator, right? If you don't know what this indicator is, then go ahead and punch this into the YouTube search bar so you can watch my full video on how to get this indicator and how to use it the way I like to. It is a very, very powerful indicator, one of my favorites. And this video, along with the EMA tutorial, which everybody on YouTube is using now, we were talking about this for, pretty much since like 2018. By the way, I didn't come up with this or anything. I got this from somebody else, but we have been using this for a very, very long time. You can get my updated tutorial by punching this into the YouTube search bar. The same for the Ichimoku Cloud. These are the only 3 indicators that you ever really see on my YouTube channel. I keep things very, very simple, and that is because technical analysis is simple. People overcomplicate it because they're bad at it, but if you know the basics really well, you don't actually need to complicate this at all. And that is, from my experience, as factual as it can get as far as TA and so on. But here's the thing, let's move us back to the chart here and analyze this with the VPVR. Now, this indicator basically just shows us where Bitcoin tends to kind of gravitate, where a lot of Bitcoins tend to be exchanged. So we've got another box right here. Let's see how we can draw this one out. I think this is fair. So this is basically $9.6 to $9,000. Let's see what else we've got here. We've got another spike right here. This is at the 8K range. I don't know if I really want to draw this one. I'm not going to draw this one. I'm going to leave this one out. The next big spike is going to be this $6,000 range. So some of you might know a little bit about this $6,000 range if you've been around in the market since back then. Let me know in the comments if you've seen Bitcoin back then. And the reason that all of this is really important, in my opinion, is this can kind of tell us where, if we do end up breaching the ceiling, and this is the first thing, I'm jumping the gun because we haven't actually breached it yet. But if we do, where might Bitcoin fall down to? And if we take a look at what these price levels look like, I know there's been a lot of talk about 14K, 15K I've been saying on this YouTube channel and so on, but I've been saying for a long time that my main area of support for Bitcoin is going to be that kind of $9,000 to $11,000 range, 9 to 12K range. And The reason for that is purely because if you look at what this chart looks like just on the inverse, it's pretty damn clear to see, ladies and gents, that there is nothing really that stands between this 20k area and this 12k area as far as resistance goes, right? Because generally when the market was moving up through this range, it would generally just slice right through. Look at this, it's sliced right through over here, sliced right through over here. There's only really these three instances of trading. There's this one right here, there's this one right here, and then there's this kind of like nearly complete one right here. So only three, basically only three attempts really in this, only three moves in this range. You know, that's not gonna give us many, you know, that's not gonna give the bears in this case on this inverse chart, that's not gonna give the bears much you know, fighting, I should say, or in this case it would be the bulls, because the bulls would not have much to fight. There's just not really anywhere to capture resistance, and that does potentially indicate, you know, rocketing all the way up here. It's really confusing for me to be using inverse words as well on this chart with this analysis, but hopefully you guys are starting to see something very, very clear. And like I said, this is going to change something for everybody, because I know a lot of people are actually already expecting this range. But you know, the next thing that I want to say to those of you who are expecting that Bitcoin falls down to 12 is, guys, this is a very, very strong area on the market right here. This you know, I mean, we did only test it once as support, and you know, the second time it basically crumbled as support very quickly. That's not a surprise, but the reason that I think this is really, really important is just look at the size of the reversal that this caused right here, right? This was an 84% move to the upside, and obviously you know, if we talk about this in real terms, the price of the market had dropped so much that you know, on the way down, you know, I mean, this is a 500% move. I just want to put this in perspective. You know, 84% might not sound like a big deal, but that's because it was a crash of minus 84%. Okay, so you know, on the rally back up, that was a 500% gain, ladies and gents. I do not want to let that you know, kind of slip through the cracks there. That's a really, really important detail in my opinion. But you know, the reason that I think this is so important is because that means this is a very, very strong support level. This is a very, very strong reversal zone, really. You know, and so, you know, can we get a double bottom from something like this? I think absolutely, or I should say a double top from something like this. You know, I do think it's on the cards. Now I know that we have basically lost the area already, but you know, wicks and so on, when you're talking about such macro scale price levels like this, you know, are just not worrying to me. Okay, wicks just do not worry me too much. You know, we are looking at some pretty weak potential closes though. You know, we have had some weak weekly closes over these last few weeks, but at the end of the day, ladies and gents, you know, we are still very much, I mean, you know, I think we've got a little margin of error until this becomes a problem. And, you know, for me, that level is probably going to be around where our prior high was at about 17 minus 17.7 minus 17.6. That's basically on the crash down when Bitcoin was falling. That was where Bitcoin bottomed out temporarily. But just when was this actually? This was in the middle of June. So, you know, to rise up there would be, you know, a decent enough. I mean, that's like a 5% clearance from our resistance zone, so that would probably indicate that we're actually going to be breaking down. And by the way, this view right now is just phenomenal. I can probably tell that the sun's been setting during this video. Really, really cool. Look at this. Just want to blow this up, guys, and thank you for all the support on the YouTube channel. We've been blazing through this bear market. We've actually been doing fairly well. This has been one of the most rough bear markets in a little while. You know, I'm super happy with where this has been going anyway. We've been doing really well inside of VIP. If you want to get yourself inside, that's always going to be the first link in the description down below. And just before I move back to the video, one big note that I wanted to make here, just while everybody is losing their shit, is if you are able to distance yourself from that a little bit, if you're able to just observe what's going on in front of you and try and just, you know, when people are feeling fear, just label it. That's fear. You know, when people are feeling like, you know, it's time to kick the bucket, as in, you know, probably shouldn't be saying this on YouTube, but you know, when people just, no, I won't, when people just want to give up and they are just absolutely resigned and do not want to be in this anymore, you know, observe it. You know, I try not to fall into it with everybody. You don't want to be in agreement with everybody, but observe what's going on. I found that the most reliable metric throughout this entire market cycle over the last year has been sentiment, right? People are just very stupid. They're doing all the textbook mistakes that you want them to make for their actions to be predictable, and that is an asset for us in this market. So important segue that I wanted to make, and I haven't done a little camera face to face with you guys for a little while, so just let me know if you do appreciate that and find those useful. Throw up a like on this video as well. That's going to help me know. You don't even have to type anything, just tap that beautiful button, and also just make sure that you are subscribed. This is very time sensitive content. We're uploading around the clock a little bit today, but that's because the market is very, very exciting. So if you do appreciate that as well, do make sure to tick the bell just so that you don't miss out on this content when it is uploaded, so you can watch it while it's hot. But like I said, this being the potential breakout zone for Bitcoin, where if we do reach this, I'm gonna have to say that we don't have anything until we kind of reach this area as far as resistance goes, and so naturally that is the only place I think we would go. Does that mean that we can stop halfway for a little bit, maybe even rebound back up, and then drop and then rise up? Absolutely. We can do something like that. We could drop all the way down to 15, come back up to get that bounce off this area, and then hit the resistance here. There's so many ways this can go, but my god, this is confusing as fuck. So I'm moving back to the normal chart now. I'm done looking at that inverse chart. And the reason that I wanted to show you guys that potential area of resistance thing, and how we might be able to set a double bottom, or in real terms how we might be able to set a double or a double top, even in real terms this would be a double bottom. The reason that I think that's important, guys, is because people aren't really open to the idea right now that this market could actually still bounce, and you know what, I can understand why, but we still haven't lost our support by a big margin. There's still a few things that are going in our favor. Most aren't, but what I don't like seeing is everybody jumping on the same damn bandwagon, guys, and that is exactly what I'm seeing. One key thing that I mentioned in the previous video, those of you who are subscribed are going to know, is that the S&P 500 has not fallen below its support range yet. We are at the bottom of it, but there is a reason we're getting this bounce where we're getting this bounce, ladies and gents. Okay, this area of support is legit. This area of support has been tested, and we have now been dropping for quite a while. So one thing that I was saying when the S&P 500 was trending up only basically a week or two ago was that the S&P 500 can't keep rallying up forever. Well, now, ladies and gents, I'm saying the exact same thing in reverse, because the S&P 500 can't keep falling forever. It's fallen for quite a bit. There are some real patterns that indicate that this thing could be dropping much, much further, but these things don't fall forever. A little bit of relief is very much on the cards. I don't know if we're going to get it, but if there's any time where we are going to get it, I just want to show you this Fibonacci retracement real quick, guys. If you know anything about Fibonacci's, you're going to know that the 618 level is generally the most important, most reliable Fibonacci level to where you can actually expect the markets to retrace and then start moving up. We also have as low as this 0.66 level. I was talking to you guys in one of these recent videos that the 0.33 and 0.66 levels, as far as I'm concerned, are basically just extensions of the same Fibonacci. The 618 Fibonacci retracement and the 382 are exactly the same. They're just inversed, right? So 1 take away 382 equals 618. 1 take away 618 equals 382. Very, very important. And then these extra two numbers here that I've got, gaining a little bit of popularity. I don't think it's too useful, but it basically just extends out what is already there. It just gives you a little bit more margin of error, so your TA can be more accurate, or at least so that you can feel like you're more accurate. Honestly, like I said, I don't think these things make a big difference, but people are talking about them, so now you can hear my thoughts on this as well. If you don't know what the Fibonacci is or anything like that, then you're probably, and I said this in the last video, you probably don't know enough to be in these markets, just in my opinion. Obviously, my opinion doesn't really mean anything. It doesn't, it doesn't have to affect your decision making, and it shouldn't. But, if you are looking to learn a little bit more about what's going on, then these are the steps on screen to get yourself inside of VIP. And most people who join will be getting free access into my 𝗧𝗢𝗥𝗙𝗦 Academy courses, where I'm teaching you everything I know about trading and analysis. So it is going to cover those simple things like what is a fib retracement, but we actually go into very, very advanced ideas as well. By the time you're done with the course, you will know as much as me. And we're actually going to be updating that course relatively soon as well, just completely videoing everything completely fresh again. So that's going to be very, very cool. Make sure you do check that out. Look out for that. But moving us back to Bitcoin as well here, just very, very quickly. Let's actually just stick to these inverse charts for a little bit, because I think this is so powerful just to help us visualize what might really be going on, especially now that everybody, wants to be talking about this and entertaining these ideas. Like I said, for those people that are, really diehard bears right now, getting quite excited at the prospect of Bitcoin actually you know, crashing down to the teens, you know, like I said, this is still looking like quite an important area on the chart for me. And also, you know, you take a look at what happens if we do get a bounce, guys. I mean, you know, bounces can be, or I should say in this case, a rejection. Rejections can be quite steep at this stage right here. If we look at the very top of this resistance range to the rejection we got here, this was a 33% move, you know, and actually I think we've got some good leeway up until this, you know, minus $31,000 price area. And this actually takes me back to the first chart that I was looking at the very beginning of this video, because I've already got this price area marked out right here. You know, this was quite an important area on the chart. The box is probably a little bit too wide. It doesn't need to be this wide, in all honesty, you know, in order to demonstrate where this support where the support on the chart is. But you know, bottom line, guys, you can get a really clear image right here that, you know, if we and let's just put another box right here, kind of 20k down to, let's see, 20k down to about 19, I think is fair. What am I doing? You know, if you take a look at this, there's a really nice potential rejection right here that we could be looking at grabbing, minus 60, minus 70%. I mean, absolutely huge move to the downside right here from this resistance level. You know, this is at the end of the day a you know, reversal zone. You know, does it mean we're going to get a reversal? No, not necessarily. We could just keep trending up, and you know what, despite everything I'm saying, I do think that's the most likely thing that's going to happen. You know, again, I'm just urging that caution. You know, if you were going to be in a trade, the time to be in a trade would not, you know, be at a reversal zone. This is a pretty stupid time to enter a trade, in my opinion. You know, unless you've got some really good stuff planned out. You know, if you're trying to play a move down to there or a move down to there, you know, I think this is a bad time to be entering trades in general. You know, if you're trading shorter term things, then you're going to know, like in VIP, we were actually trading Phantom. I pulled a more than a 100% profit on Phantom. Super impressive. I posted that trade in real time inside of 𝗲𝗡𝗡𝗧𝗏 VIP, guys. So that meant, you know, when I was considering it to when I entered and moved my stop loss and everything, stop losses and profit and everything, all that really good stuff. All of those updates went into VIP along with reasonings, explanations behind, you know, why I'm doing what I'm doing. So all those reasonings as well listed with you guys. Is it getting dark? Yeah, it is getting dark, ladies and gents. It is getting dark. Let me brighten up my screen a little bit. So that all went inside of VIP in real time, and like I said, it is discounted right now. So if you want to get yourself inside, follow these steps on screen to do so. It's going to be the first link in the description down below, and then the @4flies button at the bottom of any post inside of 4flies Gold, and then send message. These 3 quick clicks are how you get in. There's no download, no sign up required. But let's bring it back to the Bitcoin chart right here. Like I said, you know, talking about these reversal zones, I think this is a really important thing to be keeping in mind, because if you want to be trading up to this resistance area right here, you know, generally I think, you know, going long right at a resistance area isn't the best idea, you know, because generally this is where rejections are going to happen. We've already had 3. Doesn't mean we're going to get number 4. You know what, I think the odds are much higher than most people think at the moment. You know, like to get something that looks a little bit like this, and then, you know, maybe we plummet down from there, you know, then we start building a kind of ascending triangle pattern, showing us that the market's just going to keep trying to punch that ceiling and break up. These are the kind of much more realistic things that the market ends up doing. You know, it's never just straight line up, straight line down kind of thing. Sometimes it's like that, don't get me wrong, you know, sometimes it is like that, but most of the time it's a little bit more disappointing than that, and that is just the nature of these markets. I think just really staying at the mercy of what's going to happen with the S&P 500 and with the dollar. So there's a lot that's going on in this market right now, ladies and gents. There's a lot to break down. That's why we've done this double upload today. If you did appreciate it, do me a favor and throw a like up on this video. Make sure you are subscribed as well. Go get your $8,000 potential bonus by signing up to BitGet. Link is in the description down below. These guys are offering a ridiculous bonus, and like I said, it's not going to be lasting forever, so take advantage of it while you can. It is going to be a very quick process. It's not going to take more than 2 to 5 minutes, I don't think. So if that's something you're interested in, go ahead and check it out. With that, you know what to do. Hope you have enjoyed this one, and I'm out. Bye bye.